So before we get started, everybody up and at 'em, if you will. Now, some of you just relax to have dessert and power bars and stuff or whatever. Come in, come in. So stretch a little, shake a little, do a little dance. So we got a little exercise, a little energy, whatever feels comfortable. Breathe. Kick your feet a little. Don't kick your neighbor. I'll have to put them back together if you do. Breathe, stretch. Get your feet on the earth, the nurturing mother. Breathe deeply. Take a couple of really deep breaths. Energize, because you're all in that parasympathetic, I just finished eating and I'm just ready to snooze. You snooze, you lose, babe. That's it. But your subconscious will still hear. So that's a beautiful thing. And if you do provide your email address, I can send you a copy of the slides. You may want them, but not necessary. Entirely up to you. And we'll get started. So I hope you feel a little bit more comfortable. If you do feel the need to move around at any time, of course, just get up and go, baby. We're going to get into a little bit of energetic intelligence and a word from our sponsor, Albert Einstein. And I love him because he's one of the great thinkers of our age. The intellect has little to do on the road to discovery. And I was under the impression that I had to go and collect several different degrees to feel like I had some brains. So I went and I got my bachelor's in health science and master's in health science and then a doctorate in physical therapy, and I continue my quest for information. And some of us are seekers. We're always looking for knowledge. Isn't that why we're here? We're seeking. There's another new tidbit of great information that I could use to help myself and to help our global community, right? But how many of us are finders? Have you found it yet? Where is it? Where is the ultimate knowledge?
I'm looking. I think it's within.
Within. Blessings to you. That's where the storehouse of knowledge is. It's not here within. Where is it? Here in the heart. And I've seen that reflected in some of the presentations here. I'm very grateful for that. And anyone attend the drum circle last night? Did you connect to anything within? Yeah. So that's where all the source of all knowledge and power is. Intuition. Solution comes to you. Sometimes you don't even know how or why. As a kid, I just thought I was kind of smart. I'd wander around and I'd know that I was going to get in trouble if I smoked a cigarette around the corner. Daddy might be there. I put the cigarette out without even thinking about it. Next thing you know, I come around the corner. There's Daddy. Oh, what are you smoking that cigarette for? Gave up the cigarettes, thank heavens, back as a kid. But I know things. Don't go down that street. Somebody's going to mug you. Or don't go out tonight, get sick to your stomach, and find out that where you were going to go at the high school, they arrested like 15 guys for robbing all the bars in Queens, New York. I come from New York City. Queens. So interesting stuff that you learn by just paying attention to spirit speaking, if you will, speaks in the back of my mind. And noticing things. This is energetic intelligence. Being aware of the energy, spirituality, non-ordinary reality that's around you. And that's what we're here to build in this conference, right? Make connections, expand our sense of awareness, our energetic IQ, I like to call it. So we want to see today in this quick hour or so, can you sense the energy around you? Can anyone feel energy, like literally feel it with their hands? How special is that? Now, I'm usually teaching to audiences of health professionals, travel all over the country teaching at all different hospitals, Cleveland Clinic, Mayo Clinic. And when you start introducing that you can feel a patient's aura or their energy field, a biofield around the body, some people get really annoyed. You're like, that flake fest, that hocus pocus, don't give me that. But when you show them and they feel it themselves, imagine 200 years ago, people came over here to this country, colonized a lot of the very area we're in. Look at how old these buildings are, 1732 and stuff. So tell one of those folks back in the day, I can see what people are doing in China, the other side of the earth. But the earth is flat. Well, okay, the other end of the earth, maybe not the other side. What would they do to that person? Hang them, burn them at the stake. Horrible, horrific, horrific things. And God bless all those souls who underwent that, to learn that we can have knowing. What do we call that now to see the people in China or Hawaii or Antarctica? Internet. I could just whip it up on my computer and see people at a distance. I could see it in my mind's eye. That's our energetic intelligence. We have an aura that surrounds the body, like a Taurus. Yes?
I love this bit out of the picture. I use it in my classes, and what I do with my students, I blindfold them and at my room and say, find each other with the heart energy.
Love it.
It is so fantastic. I mean, they literally just go right toward, and I turn them around and spin them and have on, masks on, but they can't see and they walk right to each other.
So Noreen from Wolfboro said she basically has her students blindfolded, wander around the room, and try to find each other using just heart energy. We're going to do stuff similar to that. Less bumping into walls and dropping over chairs might be happening, but it's brilliant. It's brilliant. So again, back to one of my buddies. Intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. Sometimes the rational mind is just too overwhelming, and it's not such a servant, is it? The monkey mind, you call it that, master, right? We created a society that honors the servant and forgotten the gift. Well, you people know the gift. Go back and remember when. What would you like to remember from the past? Okay, think of a time that was just a big challenge in your life. It was not a happy time. So if you would like, close your eyes for just a moment. Don't worry, we'll undo this. And just think of a time not so happy. What was that like? So we have challenges in life. How does that make you feel? What did your posture do? Open your eyes. Come back. Right? What did your posture do in a little bit of sadness or unhappiness? I saw some droopiness around the audience. Okay, so most of us went to some school to do something at some point or had a major achievement in our lives. Go to that day. You may close your eyes if you wish, of course. Go to that day. How did you feel? Be there. Smell it. Taste it. Sense it. Feel it in your bones. Wow. Assume the posture you were in when you were celebrating that day. Yes! I graduated. Whew. Thank heavens. Right? So come on back. But how you remember things, that memory is within you. And you could go back to that happy memory anytime that you're feeling challenged or down. Choose a very ecstatic, happy memory from the past, but relive it. Feel it in your bones. Feel it in your entire being. All of your senses, all of your 6, 8, 10, 12 senses, right? And you can change your way. So the worst day of your life can be your best day. I was downtown New York City. I was teaching in a physical therapy college on 9/11. Students coming in late. I'm yelling at them for coming in late because, got to be on time here in this school. So finally, a professor comes in, like, oh, Professor Schmidt, the subways aren't running properly. Okay, well, leave a little earlier to make sure you get here, right? With all of my lovely compassion. So one of the other professors comes in, and he's just like this. I'm like, oh, he's looking kind of gray. Herb, what's going on? He goes, jet just hit the World Trade Center. So, of course, now I'm apologizing to my students. So that's why the subways weren't running. And, of course, all the hullabaloo started from there. He said, let's take all these students and give them something of service, something. Let's make this a positive day. Okay, you guys, you're going to Bellevue. You guys, you're coming with me. Okay, how about you guys? You're going to go to the VA hospital. Everyone's going to go someplace and volunteer and help, because for those thousands of people in that building, you know they're going to need health professionals. So that's what we did. What do I remember of 9/11? That was just absolutely, I'm so grateful for, and astonishingly beautiful. When I got to Bellevue Hospital, there's lines wrapped around blocks and blocks of people coming to volunteer. Coming to give of themselves, to give blood, to give aid, to give whatever they could on that day. I choose to remember it that way. Am I stronger or weaker as a result? You bet. I worked at the Wall Street broker, come in. He was freaking out. I'm selling my condo. I was right down there. I'm moving to Pennsylvania. I'm out here. He's like big, strong, workout kind of guy. Freaking out. So who is empowered? I met another professor a couple days later when the school opened up again, we could get back. She's like, I'm so blessed. I got a ride across the Brooklyn Bridge. Now, generally, you don't accept rides from strangers in New York City. It's just not a good idea, And there's a bear out the window. The bear spirit is here. Let's take pictures. Oh, this is wonderful. Easy does it. He's going in the trash. Come and see him. Look, he's opening the door and breaking in. Speaking of New York City, this is what happens frequently. Oh, look at his little face. I wouldn't be saying that if he was busting into my chicken coop. Look, he's all dejected. He's having a bad day. No students, no food, no garbage. You want to come into class? Open the door. Who's got something to eat? No, only kidding.
No,
Let's let him. He's going right down there.
Around to hit all the garbage.
There's our blessing for the day, huh? He is just a cutie patootie. He's a little guy. You don't want to mess with them. Stay away. He's so sweet till he gets big and nasty.
Well, they don't get nasty. You just
No?
chase them away.
Black bears are not.
They're okay? Okay. So now that we've all had our little distraction and fun, see, some of us are good students paying attention, don't want to be yelled at by the teacher, and the others are highly distracted, including the teacher. Oh. Bear totem is a symbol of confidence and one who guides others to fulfill their life purpose. By doing so, you're fulfilling your own purpose. There we are. Thank you. Thank you. Did everyone get your shot? So there's only the way of intuition. It's all about feeling. What do? We brought the bear totem in. For me, the bear always symbolized power and protection. So who's had any mystical or magical experiences? What a question to ask in this crowd, huh? It's just like, oh yeah, we've been there, done that, right? Woo-woo stuff. I was presenting something along these lines over here with Frank, and it's just hysterical. People going, you can't talk about that. That's woo-woo stuff. So 38% of Americans pay for this stuff. What is the matter with these people? They're wonderful, right? Wonderful. So this is our mission. Follow your intuition. That's my mission. Follow that inner voice. How do you know if it's coming from your head or your heart? What is it? It's all together. Take what's in your heart, interpret through your head. Here. Knees, fingers, nose, and toes, right? So it's all good. So you want to create a non-judgmental space to share this information. Here's a fingertip, the picture in the middle that this lovely lady has taken and given us permission to use these pictures. You can take pictures of the human energy field. We are surrounded by a biophotonic energy field, multiple levels of energy. Infrared energy, it's the heat that your body emits. Electronic energy, there's electrical field around your body. You can take pictures of it. I didn't get to go to the healer side of the convention yet, but someone was there listed as taking Kirlian photography. So that's another way of looking at images to see the aura. Like a necklace. Interesting. So this woman's doing tremendous research on it. Beverly Rubik has done tremendous research on the human energy field. Also Dr. Robert Becker. The Body Electric, Cross Currents are some of his books showing the medical aspect. There's something called electronographic imaging where you put your hand on a plate and it measures the electric going through your body, also takes pictures. So you take a frog, and these are experiments, chop off the frog's leg, horrific, but then you have a picture of the frog before and after on an electronographic image. I couldn't get copyright permission to show you, so I'm very much for. The leg is there in energy in a distorted field. Still there. Now I'm a physical therapist. I deal with people who have amputations. They have phantom limb pain. Well, diabetic, the leg used to be there, but my knee hurts. Honey, you don't have a knee. So everyone's arguing with the poor guy, you don't have a knee. I'm like, yes, you still have a knee in your brain that's represented there, and you can take an electronographic image of it. You will see the distortion of the energy around that area. The knee is still there. So, but it's highly distorted. And the same thing, they take pictures of leaves, all different things, but you can see it. So we emit all different types of energy, light energy, acoustic energy. Back when I was in training, I went to Brooklyn Hospital, did some training there, and City University of New York in Brooklyn. They actually checked out the music of the muscles, put sensors on the muscles, and found out that there are oscillations that your muscles make that are literally musical notes. And it was fascinating. So I was meeting with the people with the tuning forks and just saying, oh, she's speaking at the same time. I'm like, oh, I'm going over there because I really want to hear what she has to say. I'll catch you later. You can figure it out, right? Okay. Yeah. I was going to pull that. I was tempted to pull that. I told some people at lunch and they thought I was off my rocker. But I ended up spending an hour with that lady. She was fabulous. Same thing. Everything is frequency. Everything is energy. You could measure around your body with something called a magnetometer and measure these electromagnetic fields. And now they're being used to help align the body for healing. So everybody says, oh, do magnets really work? Like, well, the little, cruddy magnets you typically get off the internet or in the grocery store. Does aspirin really work? Well, how many do you take? Do you take 500 aspirin or do you take 1 or 2? What's the dose of the aspirin? Is it an adult aspirin or a baby aspirin? You need to know the dosage to take the right amount. And these magnets over the counter, do you know the dosage? Do you know the polarity? Do you know the direction it should be attached to your body? Should there be 1 or 2 or 3 or 100 magnets on your body? They don't know yet. So that's why the jury's still out on magnets. So just things to look at. You could take pictures of all these things. I could look at the heat your body emits using biofeedback. Mood ring. Mood ring on a business card. Brilliant. I saw that. I'm like, gotta have it. So place your thumb on the black square and hold it there for about 10, 15 seconds. And watch and see what color. More blue-green, more relaxed, more red or black. It's too cold in here. Or you might be a little stressed. Stress takes your nervous system and puts it in a fight or flight mode. Circulation leaves your hands and feet, leaves your digestive system, goes to your muscles. So you're ready to run for Mr. Bear out there. Then we relax. If you didn't get a card, please help yourself. Not got one? Thank you. Did you want a card? Lots of cards.
I'll hand them over.
Fantastic. Cards. So that is an emission of your body, is the infrared heat, and that's changing the color on this card. So my suggestion, if you're looking to relax and you're having a bit of a challenging or a stressful moment or two, take the card out, look and see what temperature is my hand. Oh, it's kind of black right now. I don't have a lot of blood flow in my hands. Let me just do some deep breathing. So take a moment, close your eyes, put your feet on the floor, comfy in your chair. Take some very slow but gentle deep breaths. Most people think of deep breaths as, no, gentle, ease. The breath comes in by itself. Let it fill your belly. 2 or 3 gentle deep breaths. Easy in, hold it for a few moments, easy out. Easy in, just hold gently for a few moments, easy out. So a pause between the in-breath, the out-breath, a pause, in-breath, pause, out-breath. Even just 3 to 5 repetitions like that, and center yourself, focus on your heart, will help to bring your sympathetic nervous system or fight or flight response back to relaxation mode. So you could do this anytime, anywhere, which is fantastic. Easy to do. And you spend a few more minutes, you'll see your hand temperature change. So you can play with that card later and see how good you are at it. So there's a light emission by the human body in a specific frequency spectrum. It actually happens. And that frequency can change based on your intention, because the power of your brain heart together, the power of your consciousness, changes reality in your physical body. So I use things such as hypnosis and guided imagery when I'm working in physical therapy or massage therapy with patients who have pain, especially chronic pain, pain that makes no sense, it just doesn't go away no matter what else happens. That's what I like to work with the most, because we can alter the perception of the pain by changing the inside vibration of the body. Part of that is through journeying, mindfulness, meditation, focus, concentration, and facilitated healing, what you might think of as the laying on of hands. So intention really matters. They've done studies, and you might read an interesting book by Lynn McTaggart. So look at some of the work she has. Online, it's called The Intention Experiment. If you Google The Intention Experiment, take a bunch of...
Power of 8.
Yes, The Power of 8. That's one of her newer books. So she's really, really cool. For example, she looks and interviews all these people as a journalist, Nobel laureate physicists around the world. Most of the time when they make these great discoveries and try to publish them in academia, they lose their job. They're done, they're out, because nobody wants to hear the new stuff. Nobody wants to be into the magic. They want whatever has kept the system going financially for a long time. And I was in academia, so I understand. But you could use the power of intention to help people in pain, to help yourself, and to help heal our planet. So losing with pain, loss of photons, literally loss of light from the body. They've actually measured loss of photons from the body. So very important. And this is showing you some of the vibration of water. Our bodies are made of water primarily. And here's some of the images of water subjected to different frequencies, 432 or a higher frequency, 440 hertz. Masuto Emoto has taken pictures of water droplets that have crystallized into ice just at the moment of crystallization. And the shape those crystals take represents the type of energy in that area. So you take a droplet from Lourdes, that's known as a healing center. Beautiful crystal, like a cathedral. Take it from a rotted out, polluted lake. And what do you see? It's all distorted, it's fragmented. You can actually see the energy in that crystal. So people have gone around the world collecting from sacred waters around the world, putting them all together, and allowing you to just keep putting that drop of water collected from all the sacred waters around the world to help your energy. So use that in our drum circles, in our meditation circles. So water holds energy. We are water. We hold energy. We could take pictures of it. So this is real stuff. When we're doing things like therapeutic touch, or like I'm a Reiki master, I like to teach Reiki classes, and I like to combine Reiki with whatever hands-on stuff that I'm doing in physical therapy, because it makes such a difference to have that intention with people to help them to heal. It actually has a frequency of energy from 8 to 10 hertz. And it's been shown that if you have low frequencies, like basically 1 to about 10 hertz, those are the frequencies of the brain waves that allow you to access spirit, that are known to be used in the shamanic journey. Anyone attend my shamanic journeying talk the other day? So that's something you can actually change your brain frequency to be more open to listen to those messages from your inner guides, whether you call that spirit, source, God, whoever. It's your own, what I call superconscious, higher power. And it has a frequency to it, which is just fascinating. So this happens to be the same as the Earth's frequency. And it's the same frequency of what we use in something called cranial sacral therapy. We very lightly touch areas of your body to balance your nervous system with very light degrees of pressure, literally tuning into the nervous system, finding where there's tension, relieving that tension and pressure. And interestingly enough, emotions tend to get relieved at the same time. Many times people will remember old injuries that they had. Say, I remember that skiing accident. I hit the mogul, I hit the tree. That's how I blew out my hip. And here's a patient I did all my usual medical interviews with, and she couldn't have any idea of why she hurt her hip until we started working on her pelvis. She's like, I know now. It all came back to her. So it's interesting. Your body stores memory in its connective tissue. The memory is not only in the brain, it's in the connective tissue. Think of the heart. Put your hand on your heart if you like. Within your heart are little lock and key mechanisms called neuropeptide receptors. Dr. Candace Pert, who's a psychoneuroimmunologist, did lots of research. You know Candace Pert. Molecules of Emotion is one of her key bestseller books. She showed that the chemicals that govern emotion literally have lock and key mechanisms in your heart. They store memories of emotion in the heart. She's proven that. So, oh, he broke my heart. Yeah, he sure did. And it's in the connective tissue of the heart. The neuropeptides that mediate emotion are stored in the heart and in the fascia, the connective tissue of your body. So sometimes when we're working with people with hands-on therapies, they get an emotional reaction. There's a letting go. That's wonderful because you're freeing that emotion. Who wants to carry that stuff around, right? Let it go, baby. Look at what happens to the brain during meditation. It goes from hot spots with more red and yellow to more cool and relaxed. Blue, okay? Do you think it's worth 10 minutes to do this to your brain? How many people might be concerned about Alzheimer's? Either yourself or someone else, someone you love. What would that be like? To get the brain a little less out of the inflammatory state. Red is inflammation, my friends. Into the blue state, calm. Inflammation is the #1 killer. It's associated with every major chronic disease we have. They call it the silent killer. So why not help change it on yourself? Anyone practicing heart math? Great. So I heard a little bit about that in a talk today. Wonderful. Heart math is when they actually measure, you know, how you could take your pulse or get an EKG of your heart and see how fast your heart is beating, and it has a certain wave shape on the picture that the docs look at. So take your heart rate and see how it changes over time. There's actually a pattern. It's called heart rate variability. So they measure that over time, and they realize it matches the stress levels that people go through. Way too much variability, you're getting whacked out with stress. A more normal level of variability, okay, less stress, healthier lifestyle. They're now matching that to the frequency of the earth, following these patterns around the earth to see when we're stressed. And what they're starting to notice, and they do need more numbers of studies to have better results, they're noticing that the frequencies of when things happen that we call global events that aren't so happy, 9/11, COVID, it's changing the frequency pattern around the earth, the whole earth, along with the frequency pattern of our heart rate variability. So Institute of Heart Math, so if you look at that, heart math, M-A-T-H, so changes in your pulse. So we like to have this heart rate variability, keep it calmer by using mindfulness and meditation and breathing and all that good stuff. This is where your energetic intelligence lives. Team up with other people and share it. So imagine you're just enveloped in a bubble, a beautiful bubble of light protecting you. And when you have a challenge, or when loved ones around you are having a challenge, invite them to do the same. Use your intention. Bring that bubble of light around you. So I'm going to ask you to try this for yourself. We're going to feel some energy. Get comfortable in your seat. Typically, when we're crossing arms and legs, you actually cut off some of your energy. So I know it makes you more stable in your chair and comfortable in these terrible chairs. But if you will, just put your feet on the ground. Try to get comfortable. Take some deep breaths in. Comfy deep breaths in, not forced. And rub those hands together. Oh, it's air conditioning's on. Let's warm up our hands. We're actually using friction to decrease the electrical resistance in our hands, called galvanic skin resistance. And rub-a-dub-dub. Rub-a-dub-dub. Clear your mind. Focus on your hands. And then just stay still with your palms touching together. It's most helpful if the eyes are closed while I steal your wallets as I come around the room. But a little sneak that I am. Now just keep your palm to palm. I'll be quiet a moment. Imagine that. Observe. Sense. Feel. Know. Be. Still. Here, now. Now, with or without your eyes open, it's entirely up to you. You will sense more with the eyes closed. Separate your palms ever so slowly. Ever so slowly. And separate those palms slowly. How far are you able to separate your palms and still feel the presence of the opposite hand? If you do feel the presence of the opposite hand. As we know, our bodies emit heat. So if you're close to the other hand, you might feel the warmth. If you're farther away, it might not feel as warm. That's an obvious thing. Practice separating, and then imagine there's a little imaginary accordion between your hands. And separate a bit and come back together, but without touching, like a millimeter away from the other hand, you know. And separate slowly. How far can you separate your palms and still sense the presence of the opposite palm? So play accordion, if you will. Play that accordion. Listen to the music. What do you feel? Just keep that in your mind for now. How far can I separate my hands and play the accordion and still feel something, anything, nothing? Am I curious to perceive anything? So it's like a mind of a child. Oh, what's that? There's no right or wrong answers. There's only sensation, or perhaps lack of sensation. So what do you perceive, if anything? At your leisure, come back and join us again. Would anyone like to share a perception or a lack of perception that you had? Like taffy, felt like taffy pulling? Interesting. What flavor? Vanilla, strawberry, butter pecan? Okay, so interesting. Love it, feeling the taffy, but is there more to it? Did it sound like something? Did it taste?
Like a ball, but not really a ball, it's spongy, like an energy that I could stretch.
So a spongy ball of energy being stretched.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll repeat what you say because I found in all the classes when people didn't repeat, I couldn't hear a thing. So if you don't hear something, just tell me and I'll repeat it. So thanks. So an interesting spongy feel.
Like something that would be solid if I would look at it, but I wasn't looking at it.
Interesting. It would be solid if he was looking at it, but he wasn't looking at it. So he's using even more senses now to engage. And I invite you, once you make the discovery, start to employ other aspects of sensitivity. Smell, touch, taste. Would you like to share? Taffy. You could squish it back together. You could feel it grow. And then squish, grow, and squish. Yeah, how cool is that? Did anyone else feel something like that? Yes. Totally different. Wow, she felt a gelatinous ball that just, and it was hot and it melted all over her arms. Now, isn't there a rock song about something like that? Give me some sugar, honey, or something like that. Sugar, sugar, da 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 da. Oh, sugar, sugar. Okay, you really don't want me to sing, guys. I'm sorry. So how interesting was that to feel this ooze of warm sugar, honey, whatever it was? Shanti is also Reiki Master, and she has the appropriate name to go with it. Love it. Felt like you were at work? Were you getting paid for it? No. She'd give it away. And so many of us like to give away as well. We like to give back, and that's a beautiful thing. I think someone over here had an offering.
So I felt the heat in my body.
Heat in the body. Trish?
Basically, TMI, but this was because the first few times I did this, it was all black. And after that exercise, it was green.
Oh, so when dealing with the biofeedback card,
Doing that
after the exercise, it went from black to green for her.
I speak to my friend, the same thing happened to her.
Same thing?
Dark, and then you do that exercise, and move it.
It works. Woohoo! Did you get your money's worth? Okay. It's all about that. So what can you take home? Was there any other sharing that someone would like? Yes, please. I missed the last thing you said. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. You're picking up fire?
And yesterday I came to a seminar on the Hawaiian energies,
Oh.
and we were, is anybody in that?
She went to the Hawaiian Energy Seminar, and her friend who's sensitive to energy is picking up fire.
Because that's the third, we had to envision fire. Well, we didn't get through all the elements, but we started out with fire, so we spent the most time on fire.
Ah.
How we all had to envision fire. I've got goosebumps talking about it.
Yeah, goosebumps envisioning fire. Well, did you know the spirit of Pele is inhabiting Hawaii, of course, and that's where the sacred volcano that's dedicated to the goddess Pele, who's the goddess of fire, is centered in Hawaii, and fire is the element,
Yes.
by the way. So you perceived that. Fascinating.
Yeah.
I didn't get your name.
Kathy.
Kathy, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Other sharings of any kind? Okay, we're going to, yes. Terry.
I've done therapeutic touch in the VA clinic before. And
Oh, great.
in my hands on other bodies, and I was able to get them space quite way apart, and still felt the heat, the energy to move.
So Terry could get her hands quite a bit apart and still feel the space. And she does healing work, did you say, at the VA?
Done at the VA.
Like therapeutic touch kind of stuff? Fantastic. And thank you for that service. I started my career at the VA in Manhattan.
Great place.
God bless the vets. Any vets here? Many blessings for you. Okay, so we see we could sense something. And you know, if you didn't sense anything, it's okay. because there's plenty of time to practice. You could be sitting on the potty. Oh, what do I do while I'm waiting? I'll try that. Waiting at a red light. Oh, let me see if we go this way. Who said you had to go this way? What if I went this way? Or this way, what would I feel? Okay, so you just start playing around. Have a good time with this on yourself. So now I'm going to ask you, and I know some people have more concern about, infectious disease than others. So according to your desires, sit next to someone so you could be palm to palm like you're going to play patty cake. Remember patty cake? Patty cake, patty cake, bakers, whatever. I haven't been around kids in a while, I guess. So you need another body. So if you will, go by someone, and if you'd rather be on your own, you'll just play yourself. So I just invite you to be interactive. It's your choice. I ask you to be open to your perception. Again, feel free to take pictures of the slides, or I can send you the whole slide set later with your email. I do not share that. So if you're comfortable, go with another body. Did you want another body? You're chilling? You guys are good? Okay. So we're going to do the same exercise. And I invite you just to hands together, rub-a-dub-dub. Oh, can I ask 1 second, please? Is there like a jar of hand sanitizer somewhere? Could you bring us a big jar? Yeah. So we're going to get some hand sanitizer, because I know sometimes that's like the funky thing. I don't know that person. They picked their nose last. Geez, who knows what they were doing? Yeah, so some hand sanitizers coming around. But in the meantime, we're not going to do any touching just yet. No touching just yet, you two. Get a room. Okay. Yeah. Rock the room, brother. Rock the room. Okay, so it's easier with your eyes closed, but I'm just going to ask you first without touching. And please entertain me by being silent unless there's something you need to say or share, of course, like fire. Okay, run out the door with the bear. Where would we rather be? In here with the fire, out there with the bear? I don't know. You make a decision. Okay. So we'll start by not touching, and our friend will come around. Hand sanitizer. Please use it if you're going to engage with touching another person. Would you just walk around with that, if you don't mind? I so appreciate it. So a little rub-a-dub with the hand sanitizer. And then in the meantime, assume a comfy position so you're facing each other so it's comfortable. Because if you got to turn like this, your back's going to hurt. You're going to be here for a while. So move your chairs and face each other. Comfortable distance. Rub-a-dub. Not just for the sanitizer, but like we did before, rub to break down the electrical resistance of your hands using friction. And breathe. And it's a nice, peaceful, quiet exercise. Rub and breathe. The puppy's going to play too. Let me in on it. I want to get in on this. My paws are here. And then put your hands across from your partners without touching. Like a few millimeters away. Almost touching, but not quite touching. And quiet your mind, and a little bit of accordion. So you're going to come a little bit apart from your partner, a little together, a little apart without touching, a little together. And you may do this on yourself if you don't have a partner right now. It's always good to have more practice. Little accordion patty cake with your partners. So can you be next to your partner and sense the presence of their palms if you're not touching them? A little bit apart, sense the presence of the other person or not. I know the sanitizer just made your hands cold and all that. So do a little accordion and see if you could play. I'm going to get a little too. Thank you so much. You're my hero. A little accordion. I invite you to try it with your eyes closed, and you're all sanitized, so we're not worried about the germs there. How far can you come apart from your partner and still sense the presence of their hands? Just inviting you to be open. And please keep it in a quiet mode so the mind can just be quiet. Just perceive. This is about feeling, sensing and perceiving and feeling. Play and feel. Now bring your hands so that they're almost touching, but not quite. Like how close can you get without physically touching? Stay there for a moment, and if your hands get tired of being held up, take a break. You could always put palms in the lap and someone else's palms on top, any position you want. Now I want you just to sense, can you feel if the partner's hands are warm or cold? And don't speak it, just think it, please. Are their hands warm or cool? Can you sense that? There's an infrared and thermal field around the body. It extends out quite some distance. Please. Can you feel if their hands are rough or smooth? Without touching, rough or smooth? If you're tired, you could put hands like this and this, in the lap.
The chairs hurt.
Oh, the chair. So stand up and do it, or whatever. If the chairs are uncomfortable, stand up and do it. Do whatever works for you. I know these chairs are awful. You can do it standing. You can do it lying down. You can do it anything you like. Do the hands feel tense or relaxed? We're on a different quality now. Tense or relaxed? Now, I invite you, if you like, to touch palm to palm. If you're tired of holding your hands up, have one partner with the palms on the lap and the other with the palms on top. It's more relaxing, perhaps. Same thing. Are the partner's hands warm or cool? Are they rough or smooth?
It doesn't matter.
Are they tense or relaxed? And we're going to discover some other qualities now. With the hands not touching each other, just a little space, do the accordion. How far apart can you withdraw your palms and still sense the presence of the other person's hands? Or if you're doing it on yourself, your own hands. A little accordion. How far can I place my hands apart and still sense, is my partner still there? Does it make a difference if I go up or down or sideways? We are continuing our quiet breathing and awareness of quietude. Sensing. So play with that for a moment or two, and then I'm going to ask you to rest, and we're going to do another exercise. I don't want your arms getting tired and being up too long. Okay, if you had a little rest, I'd like you to imagine, and this is again, please don't share it yet. We're going to share after this. Imagine a color. Now, I'd like you to imagine a primary color to keep it very clear. Primary colors like red, yellow, blue. Imagine a primary color, and I want you to think that color and just see everything in that color. You choose the color. Think that color. What are all the qualities of that color? What fruit is that color? If there's a metal and it's hot or cold, what color is it? Would it represent that way? Is there an emotion that goes with that color that you would imagine? Is there a feeling that goes with it? Is there a time of day that goes with that color? Is that color rough or smooth? Is that color tense or relaxed? So you're just thinking that color. You're imagining your whole being is that color. You are radiating that color. Radiating that color. And now keep that color in your mind. Put up your hands like patty cake without touching, palm to palm, with just a little distance away. And imagine one of your hands, it is your choice. Send that color to your partner through one of your hands. I'm not telling you which one. You decide the color. You decide which hand. Send that color in love to your partner. Send that color Taste that color, smell that color, feel that color, radiate that color. It's just a color. And now just imagine, what color did my partner send me? Sense. What is the first imagination that comes to mind when I think, what color did my partner send me? Curious. What's the first thing, what's the first image or listening or smell or taste or sense that comes to mind? And very gently and slowly, relax, withdraw your hands, and spend a few moments sharing with your partner your perception, please. And if you did the exercise by yourself, you can always just turn to someone in the vicinity and share with them. What was it like? What color was it? What hand was it? What did you feel? Two magnets. Think of what you could do with that. I'll leave that with you to ponder. So what was it like? What was the color? What hand did you feel it?
Right.
Oh, how fascinating. I'm going to ask you to share in a few moments if you wish. Thank you. So what was it like for you? What did that mean to you? I invite anyone to share their perceptions. Would you care to share its name?
What?
What's your name?
Well, my name is Stephen.
Stephen. Hi, Steve. So Stephen's going to share, if you will.
I was thinking red for me, and then I thought, well, what would she think? And I figured blue.
So I picked up on the blue. I didn't get red for him. I got blue for him because he was thinking that's the color that I was going to choose.
But that's
So
pretty.
these two are guessing each other's colors, and accurately so.
Well, yeah, except I was thinking red for me, and she thought it was yellow, so that wasn't right. But the blue.
So you got some, but not all.
Yeah. Well, only because he was thinking blue for me, so I think that's probably what threw me off. And I got blue. He was actually thinking red for him, he was thinking for me.
So this is brilliant. He's trying to figure out what color she's thinking for him instead of following directions just to stick to his color. And what do they get all mixed up?
Yeah.
There you go. So think about that in your lives on a day-to-day basis. When we have expectations and intentions for people, how does that somehow interfere with their vibe on some level? You know, one way or another. No one's saying good or bad, but it could be very hilarious. So I think there's a sharing here. We're going to get everyone sharing. Another example, Nancy and Dennis.
Yeah, so I sent him green out of my hand.
She sent green.
And I thought he was sending me yellow.
She thought he was sending yellow.
He was sending green with both hands, and you caught me. I was sending.
So he was thinking green because he thought she was sending him yellow.
He was sending green color.
He was sending all green. Two hands. So more people not following directions. Do you get the drift here? He asked for the primary color. No, they had to use green because you couldn't just use red, yellow, and blue. But then what's interesting is sometimes you send yellow, you know, and blue, and what do you get? Green.
But, you know, I sensed that he was sending me yellow. So I was
Sometimes you sense that the other person's sending, and you're imagining that that's what they're sending. Meanwhile, that's what you're sending. So all of these preconceived notions about how that other person is thinking or feeling. How does that mess us up in everyday life? How could that help us? You know, we're not going there now. You and them get a room. Okay? There you go. Thank you for sharing. Look, we're cutting them off now. Who's next? Did you want to share? Mm-hmm.
We actually got each other's colors.
They got each other. What color?
I sent her yellow,
Yellow.
and she sent me like a blue with some green in it. I pictured the dial, and the dial was like brown there.
Blue, green, and the dial went
Yeah, it's like between like green and blue.
between green and blue. What happens when you put those together?
I actually sent blue with a little bit of green, and I was picking up green with a little bit of blue, but I got.
Oh, she sent blue with a little green. She picked up green with a little blue.
But we got each other's hands right. We both chose to send in a circle.
And they could sense which hand?
No, I mean, we both sent with our right hand.
Both sent with the right hand. Okay. Can anyone perceive which hand it was sending from the other partner? Anyone can tell, well, I knew my partner was doing the right hand. I really felt the right hand. Some of you felt that. So any other sharings here and then there?
She got, I said for yellow. She got yellow.
Kathy?
I picked up the blue-green over here.
She took on their blue-green because she's an empath. There you go. You need a little more boundaries, my dear. There you go. So, guides, shamanic journey guides for you. That boundary right up. It's a wonderful gift, however you can carry this stuff around. A shamanic journey is a type of meditation where we use intention to go into something like a brain trance of mindful meditation, and we find our guides of power that help us and protect us from things like picking up like you do, because I did the same with patients. I know exactly what's wrong with everybody before I touched them. How did you know that? Well, I'm just smart, sweetheart. I was carrying the crap around in my body. Not what you want to do. Learn how to get my guides through the shamanic practice, and now I have protection. If you imagine yourself and you're very sensitive to energies around you, which is part of this exercise, is helping you to sense energy and how being near other people influences you. Have you ever gone into a room and you could feel the tension and cut the air with a knife? You weren't in that room before. You don't know what happened there. You didn't hear the screaming. How did you know that? Because this empathy that we all have to one degree or another. But you don't want to pick up on other people's stuff. You want to always be in guidance, always be centered in the heart, which is kind of a huge challenge to do on a regular basis. But it is doable. Thank you for sharing. That's a super lesson. Super lesson. There's another sharing, and then we shall move on because we're just about done. Yes? Yellow and blue. Reverse the two and make green. You merge them and made green. Is anything growing over here?
Friendship.
Friendship. So they merge the two colors and make green. I invite you to take a practice like this and do it with, loved ones or friends or neighbors or complete strangers and see how crazy they think you are. But you can perceive energy. Okay? You could play with what we did when we started today, was go back and remember an incident, a very happy one or a very not so happy one. Always end with the happy one. Leave yourself in good biochemicals with happy memories. So when you're down or someone else is down, depressed, you got to get out those funny movies. You got to start telling some jokes, once you get over the, sympathy and all that kind of stuff. So we share the experiences. Go home and practice this. Bottom line, if you want to be able to raise the vibes for yourself and all around you, right to this planet and out into the very galaxy, the most powerful vibes are of love and appreciation, gratitude. If you're finding that the energy is low, maybe you go to work and everybody's kind of in the down thing because, another building got bombed or somebody else got shot 20 times or whatever happened. What would it be like to bring in the love? And what would it be like to say to someone something that you really appreciate about them that you haven't said for a long time? It's really nice how you always open the door for me. Yeah, I don't say thank you often enough, but it was just a nice kindness. Or what would it be like to show that kind of kindness to others? Just a little thing. Because that appreciation picks up your inner happy chemicals called endorphins and enkephalins, the happy chemicals. Chemical mediators make you feel good that also land in the heart. So you want to show more appreciation. Like when you go to the lunch or the dinner and you see that person sweating behind the counter flipping burgers. How many have said, hey, how you doing today, Allison? Okay. And Allison looked at me yesterday and said, oh, it's my second day. I got all kinds of information and sharing from her. Her face lit up. And when I came back today, she saw me. I didn't want anything she was serving at the moment, but she's like, hey, I recognized her. I don't know this lady. I don't care about this lady. Well, I decided to care, at least for the moment, to be there because she's serving and she's helping. She's like, it's my third day. Great. So that little bit goes so far. And these are just other things you could do on your own, like taking a partner's pulse. Is anyone timing this? Do you know? Do we go to 1:45? I think we go to 1:45. Okay. So try taking your pulse, and these are just fun games you could play later. See what the pulse is. I gave you a little card for biofeedback. Looks at the same side of the nervous system. Are you tense or relaxed? If you're tense, your pulse is high. Normal resting pulse, 60 to 100. Higher than 100, going to be more and more stressed. That is if you're measuring the pulse when you're sitting relaxed. If you just ran in the door and up the stairs, of course, the pulse will be up. But you could use the pulse. Look at a level of stress. Try to think about a grateful time. So try on yourself. Take your pulse at your wrist. I don't have second hand on here, but look at you can look at watch for the second hand, or do you have a timer for second hand? Could you give us 15-second timer? There it is. Okay, feel the pulse at your wrist. Ready, set, count. How many thumps? Count, 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 count. Stop. Multiply that by 6. Okay, I got 10 beats. I multiply it by 6, my pulse is 60. In 10 seconds, 10 beats, pulse is 60. So go into a sense of gratitude. Think of a time you were most grateful. Maybe someone just rescued you when you had a crash on the side of the highway. Boy, I was grateful for that after smashing my head through the window. So how grateful were you? What about that day that maybe you married the love of your life? And how grateful you were that this person chose you and you chose them. So go and close your eyes for a moment and think of something that you're most grateful for. Maybe the fact that the broccoli rabe actually came up in the garden after all that good work, and I'm really grateful for that, but now I'm tired of broccoli rabe. No, don't go to the tired part. Just grateful for that broccoli rabe in the garden. I'm grateful that my better half went home from the camper yesterday and found out our chickens and turkeys were still there and no bobcats. So what can you appreciate? What does the appreciation look like? What does it smell like? What does it sound like? If that appreciation had a sound. Woo-wee! Or whatever. What is the sound? What's the scent of appreciation and love? In this moment. Breathe that in. Be that grateful, appreciative soul. Right here, right now. Be here in appreciation and love right now. Take your pulse again. Ready, set, go. Stop. Multiply by 6. Is it a higher number or a lower number? Now, we did this really quickly. I would say take a few minutes and try that at home. And watch how you could change, you actually changing your heart rate variability, taking you out of stress mode and taking you into a mode in which you are much more receptive to hear the voice and the smells and the sounds and the visions and all the other perceptions of movement of spirit within you. You're here because you're seekers and you want to find and you want to connect with your guides and your higher self and your higher purpose. There's that energy you recognize is there, whether you call it source or God or creator or the great central sun, it doesn't matter. Because it's not about religion, it's about that love that we all share, that's shared by every major religion around the world. Yes? A little louder for us? Can the exercise synchronize pulses? Absolutely. Your pulses can synchronize together. They had the same pulse. Cool. Anyone else, partners? Tell your partner for a moment what your pulse was. Just interesting. Thank you for asking. Anyone has the same pulse as the partner? Okay, so frequencies can be contagious, but it tends to be something that you need to have that present over a little period of time. There's something called resonance, sympathetic resonance. You are in a piano store. I'm in the Steinway store and I hit a piano. Bing! The other pianos will resonate to the same key, even though I did not touch them, because the acoustic wave travels. Your heart has acoustic waves, electric waves. We are within the 12 to 15 foot diameter of sympathetic resonance of every other person's heart chakra in the room. So remember, anytime you're anywhere between 10 and 15 away from other people, your heart is affecting theirs. It can be measured with magnetometers. So these are all things that are measured. I'm not making any of this stuff up. I'm very much into scientific research. That's why this is where spirit meets science. We have the science to back this up. And one of my purposes is to bring into the health field that people recognize that we all have energy. We have to deal with that. Sometimes, like, I had a really bad day, had to get a divorce years ago. Did I do my energy work on my patients on those days? No. I just couldn't clear myself. There's too much emotion. So you're exercising today, honey. I'm going to manipulate your back, and I'm going to do some exercise. I'm going to give you a home program, and you're out of here. What about all that frou-frou? Not today. Not up to it. I had to learn to be able to say to my patients, you know, I don't have like that much energy today. I'm a little tired. Stuff's going on, but you know, it's none of their business what's going on. But just, I offer you this today. It's another way of working. So just recognize that, because what happens to you, you create your own state of being, but you influence the state of being of others around you. You can choose whether or not their state will affect you. That's energetic intelligence. Free will, you have that choice. So next time somebody says, well, he made me feel bad. She made me angry. No, I chose to be angry out of my free will. I just had a reflexive bam. How dare you take my parking space, the New Yorker that I am. It's my freaking space. Move it on over. I chose to get annoyed by someone stealing my space. I've had many spaces stolen until I learned to be tough enough. All right, pick up that car, move it over, I'm in the space. But you get the idea. So you choose your own state of being. You all knew you had those extra powers of perception. Tune into the help-building spirits. They may take the forms of animals or plants or other beings. They look like something you don't know or even understand. But if it's a loving, compassionate spirit, allow that being to express to you. We all have the power to raise our frequency and raise our energy. The number one, fastest, easiest way to do that for the greatest wellness of you and everyone around you is through love and appreciation. And I like to say that I appreciate each and every one of you for coming and sharing your precious time with me today and with each other and engaging in these exercises and being open to try it and play. My little bumblebee in the front row here. Great minds think alike when we're dressing in the morning. So I appreciate her for that. But these things are things that you can choose. Can we not empower our planet by choosing to be in that love frequency? It can be done. You just did it. How did it feel? Yummy, yummy. How will you use what you learned here today? If anyone would wish to share what they learned here today, or how you might use it. Peace on the planet. That's the way to go, yes. Oh, I love it. So Craig is working with teenage girls, and he feels that they'll benefit from playing that little game with the colors. And feel free, you have my permission to use this information. If you want, I'll send you a copy of the slides if you want to use that for the girls. I only ask that you credit where it came from, as I credited where things come from.
Want me to just leave it intact?
Leave it intact, but I'm happy to send. Give me a week or so, because I'll get home and do all that at once, entering in all those emails. So any other aspects of how you might use this? What we learned here today? We're still in the pondering grateful mode, yes.
restaurant or a store, and they go, "Can I get you anything else?" I say, I always go, "The world peace would be nice." You know, and they take it, they don't forget. We all just opportunities.
So Shanti's saying if she's in a restaurant or a store, opportunities to share the love with the waitress or whoever waiters that you're working with. Make a little shift. That little shift, that person will then be nicer to someone else. Be nicer to someone else.
I think these are really great teaching moments that you can share with other people that you feel want more and are connecting with you and grow. And it's a great little. Let's try this. And how do you feel about that? You know, open people's thoughts.
So Nancy's suggesting to use these exercises with other people. You get greater connectivity, open things up, open them up a little bit, let them understand. Yes. Oh, and Kukrapalu? Beautiful.
I went out alone on purpose just so I wouldn't have any interference from energy from friends or family. And I goes, "I want to go," and I'm like, "No, I'm going alone." Anyway, we did a share circle. First minute, everybody gets to talk for 2 minutes, and everybody has to listen. And you'll try to fix the person's problem.
So she did a share circle where everybody had to listen and not fix each other's problems.
Yeah, and you start off with "I feel,"
I feel.
and then everybody just listens.
Wow. So everyone in the circle.
And you can do no judgment, but it's a great thing, especially for teenagers, because they're always on the phone, or I'm thinking, or I feel. And it's tough. There's no time to sit and just think. And it's,
Did everyone hear that? Do I need to repeat it? I'm happy to. Everyone heard? So, yeah, just sometimes we just need a good listening ear, don't we? Shut up and listen. Yeah, don't try to fix. I've discovered that with my patients as well. We're supposed to fix them. We're in the medical field, but I'm not fixing anybody. I can give you tools. I can help you. I can facilitate. You're going to fix yourself. But if I don't listen to that person when they first come in, I'm just lost. I'll know nothing. You need to listen. You need to feel. I need to shut up and let them have a say. How many people get to go to the doctor today and actually they shut up long enough to hear what you have to say? And you're doing this with everyone, listening carefully, allowing them to express. That's beautiful. Yes. So her gift to the elders that she works with is just listening. What a great gift. How many people did I've worked in teaching students in nursing homes and how to care for elders, and who's coming in? The aides are just popping them in the butt. Somebody else is giving them a bit. Nobody's talking to them really. Roll over, do this, do that, because everybody's in a hurry. He's a human being. He's not a piece of meat. We happen to be a piece of meat, but we have emotions and feelings and hearts and souls and spirits. And thank you for sharing that. So just wanted to invite you back to Einstein's only 2 ways to live your life. One is though nothing is a miracle, and the other is if everything is a miracle. And when we remember that on our toughest days, it changes our lives. So if you have any interest in other information or any of the healing modalities, facilitations, or bringing a lecture to your center, feel free to contact me. There's one of my websites. I have this information. And I'd like to invite you, if you have questions later, contact me. My direct email is educise, E-D-U, like educate, E-D-U-C-I-S-E, like exercise, educate, exercise, educise, @yahoo.com. No, and there's a contact on the website. If you just go to contact, it'll send me the email. So that's happening there. I love you guys. Bless you. Thank you.